Morning everyone, Tuesday, and Jer here with your news, and there's not a massive amount, so it'll be a short one today. We'll get through it. So we're going to start off with anyone who didn't see the Sky Sports piece yesterday about Crescencio, Summerville, and the penalty decision against Brentford that we didn't get. Dermot Gallagher was on doing what Dermot Gallagher does best, and that's agreeing with every referee decision that's ever been made. But he said the PGMOL said the decision didn't reach the threshold of contact that needed to give the penalty, and that an argument could be made that the foul started outside the box where their initial shirt pull was, and that VAR couldn't give that decision, but they followed it on anyway into the box and then didn't give what was a clear penalty. And you could see it in the Sky Sports studio presenter how shocked they were even at Dermot Gallagher's explanation. He said it was an element of doubt that was within that, and a crazy decision, but a bad weekend for VAR, and the referees involved in all the VAR decisions seem to have been rewarded by the PGMOL, but being given Midlands derbies and Liverpool as games. So that was taken seriously, wasn't it? Moving on then to Wilfred Gnonto, who should be back in Leeds yesterday to get his measurements done and be in full training today with the team. And just some information on the deal. The initial deal is expected to be £3.8 million, but Zurich themselves, with all the add-ons included, and knowing the player pretty well, they are confident. They said yesterday they expect that deal will hit 10 million in total, which is not a bad sum of money for them. And even as an outlay, we've said about Rasmus Christensen at 10 million before, saying it's kind of a free hit nowadays with 10 million. So it's not a huge amount of money, and they've only spent out 3.5 million of it right now, but that will answer. There are questions to be asked as to why Dan James needed to leave for a player coming in for 3.8 million, but we'll keep bypassing that one, will we, and keep it positive. Moving on to Joe Donoghue on Twitter, who has said that Matteo Joseph has been pictured in training with the Leeds United first team, and the under-21 player who has got 5 goals in the start to the Premier League 2 season could be expected to get some game time, or at least get some bench time with the first team after a very impressive start and a goal-scoring knack. He is been in and around the first team camp, but it's nothing unusual to see under 21 players. They do fill gaps with under 21 players, and Leeds still feel they're light up front. So it could be brought up for that, but it's nice to see the under 21 players being recognised and getting involved in the first team action as well. So good for Matteo Joseph, and it'll be interesting to see if they chance him. There isn't really an easy swing cup game coming up where they can throw him in. I mean, it's Wolves in the next round of the Carabao Cup, and it depends if we get in the FA Cup. But it could be a case of just stick it on the bench and seeing what he's got. If Jesse Marsh believes in him, why not? And then moving on to Diego Llorente, and I promise I won't go over the top on this or spend too long on it. But his stats did come out for the weekend, and unfortunately he had some of the lowest numbers in the Premier League. He managed a 33% tackle succession rate during the game and had 0 blocks, which was the lowest of any individual in a single game this Premier League season. So a day very much to forget for Diego. With Firpo back in training, there's a possibility of him coming in to start next week against Forest, and Stroke coming inside, or Liam Cooper coming in and Stroke staying on the left. Stroke's been excellent at the left for me. He hasn't done anything wrong. Our goals aren't because we don't have a left backer. But that's not great stats for him, and a tough week. I don't want to lay into the player too hard because he's had a tough week. But yeah, for our own sakes, we need to probably move on from this a little bit into the Forest game and bring Cooper back in, I think. And then moving on to some information according to the Sun, and some potential transfer information coming down the road. So from the Sun, so pinch of salt territory here. Leeds and Newcastle are said to be interested still in the LAFC midfielder Jose Cifuentes, and this is coming from their general manager John Thornington, who has said he isn't surprised about Newcastle and Leeds are showing interest in the midfielder. The Ecuadorian has got 7 goals and 6 assists in 27 games this season, which is really, really good, and has been described as a aggressive box-to-box player who is very, very good from distance with shooting, and will only cost roughly in and around £6 million. And the MLS market is not a bad market to dip into now. There's a lot of players coming through there, and if you can identify the right ones, you could be in for a bargain. So that's pretty much it for today, folks. As I said, quiet one, pretty light on news front today. This is getting tougher, but we'll keep going and we'll see how it goes, and we'll get ready for the Forest game. So I will be back tomorrow with more news. If you like the channel, if usual stuff, likes and subscribes if you want, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.